something.
Live or something. Hey, folks, welcome to Brothers and Booze. We are here with the imitable Daddy Porter / Greg Washington. We have a pretty phenomenal guest that I've been really looking forward to tonight. So why don't you give us a little bit of what you're bringing in?
Let's see. I visited somewhere last week and I got some beers here. Let me go quickly to this one, Death by King Cake.
Boy, I don't know where you get that from.
I don't know if I even should start with this one. Screw it.
Why not? Start with all
right. So Death by King Cake, Oscar Blues. A good friend gave it to me on a recent road trip. Who would that be, Doug?
What's that?
Who would that be?
I don't know. That would be some dude in like Binghamton, New York area.
So this pours light or pours pretty clear. I was thinking it's going to be some dark beer.
Nope. I believe it's an ale.
It's really nice and light. It's absolutely not what I thought it was going to be. I'm tasting more vanilla. It's like a cream-y feeling at the end. It's like a creamsicles kind of something.
Maybe more like icing.
Icing, yeah,
like that creamy, like that buttercream icing kind of thing.
Not getting cinnamon or nutmeg really that much. Cacao nibs, orange peel, pecans. I don't know. We got a great guest, so I'm gonna go to him. I'll get back to this one later. This is a complex beer. There's a whole lot of shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on in that one.
Right.
It's almost like too much. Like too many things.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
no, not at all.
It's good though. It's weird. So anyway, our guest is Aaron Gouveia, Daddy Files. I met him at Dad 2.0. We just recently were at Dad 2.0 for people who are watching live. And I met Aaron Gouveia like 4 years ago. At Dad 2.0, walked into the main event, and he was just there, surrounded by people coming at him about the Patriots. And he was just like taking everyone on. It was like this amazing. I was like, who is this? So I just walked up to him and just went in, and I don't know. I'm a Browns fan, so I got whacked out pretty quickly. But I did have my say. He was pretty respectful. So he has a lot to talk about, so I want to bring him on. I'm excited to have him here. Aaron, how you doing? What's going on, buddy?
It wasn't that you had your say. It's that I felt bad for you because you said you were a Browns fan. So I'm not going to go in on a Browns fan. I'm just going to let you be. You've been through enough, man. There's nothing I can say or do to you.
And that was even 4 years ago. That was before the 0 years and not winning. And it was just a mess. So, Aaron, before we get to anything, I really have to ask you. You weren't an initial embracer of craft beer wave. So was there a time where you turned, or where are you at with all that before we even get to anything else?
Yeah, I was made fun of quite a bit because I was just gravitate toward the cheapest, of course, Coors Light, Bud Light, whatever, man. It's I did not have. I have the palate of a 9-year-old child in food and beer. So the range was because when I moved here. I've been in my town for 3 years. Moved here. I actually moved. Didn't plan. I moved within a mile of my friend. Brews. He used to brew here and try and get me to take this brew a couple towns away. Craft brew and really good. Started like. Knew I would be not.
I couldn't hear you, Doug. Could you hear him?
It seemed like it was a little bit choppy. You know what? Hey, we're doing this live. This is kind of like how it works sometimes. So
live. Fuck it.
Fucking send. Let's go.
So can you hear him, Doug, or should he try to reconnect that?
Yeah, I can't hear him. It was like pretty choppy. So maybe Aaron, give it another go, and then just join us right back, man. We'll be good. So while he's doing that, I'm going to open my first one, which was a gift from a friend on a road trip. Ironically enough, it's like a theme from what you had.
Oh, what do we have?
So we have Oso Brewing Black Scotch.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oso, one of your little favorites from your backyard there.
I'm familiar a little bit with that brewery. Just a touch.
So this one promotes itself as a smooth, rich Scotch ale with a hint of peat. And I'm really curious about this because peat is a Scottish thing, and Oso is not in Scotland. So we're going to open this up. Kind of malty on the nose, not tremendously much.
Oh, Aaron, come back, okay. What's up, Ryan Darcy?
Ryan Darcy, hey, Ron.
Missed your dad too, y'all. Okay.
Oh,
it looks the part.
Yeah, it does, and it smells too. Smells exactly what you want out of a Scotch ale.
Oh,
that nice barley smell.
Are you getting the peat?
No, not on the nose.
Okay.
At all. Understand that when I think of peat, I think of Scotch, and Scotch. When you have peaty Scotch, it is smoky and earthy and rich. This is like, it's what you expect out of a Scotch ale. I don't get any peat noses out of this at all. Now let's see how it tastes, because that may change.
Look at Ryan Darcy calling me only my mother gets away with that shit.
So, okay, maybe a hint of peat, but like literally, it's more smokiness. It's not peat. Okay. There's a difference. Smokiness is more earthy, or smokiness is just smokiness. You know, you've had that in smoked porters and all that shit.
Bacon.
Peatiness is slight smoky notes, but it's more earthy. So this isn't quite that. It's more like a smoky, a very slightly smoky Scotch ale, which I dig. I love Scotch ale. It's one of my favorites. Sure.
But the peat thing kind of is what's the word? Marketing.
Yeah, like I said, you're getting a little bit of the smoky stuff, which I get why they would do it. They're kind of doing it's got a hint of peat, but if you do smokiness, it kind of replicates that a little bit. But for someone like me who's a Scotch snob, it kind of doesn't hit those notes. But that doesn't mean it's not good. It's really good. I love Scotch ales. So
sure. But you being Scotchfully yours takes it to kind of another. I'm with you. It's like me and the porters and shit. I'm with you. There's another level of like, all right, sorry, but this is I kind of have higher standards. So like, again, no disrespect, and I'll drink it. But speaking of having higher standards, this one, man, I don't know. I'm not. It looks like Aaron's still having problems. So I'm pretty sure he's working on it. Probably doing a full reboot. That probably worked. But yeah, this one, I don't know, dog. As we get as it gets a little bit warmer, I'm getting more to cocoa nibs or cacao nibs or something.
Or however they pronounce that.
I don't know. More of this is coming out. Orange peel, though, I'm not getting it. 6.5.
I remember having that, and I didn't get any of that either.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know.
But like you said, we talked earlier. It's like there's a shit ton going on, and it's not. It's almost overwhelming in that, but nothing really stands out.
And it's a Mardi Gras beer, so if you've ever been down there, I was there at that too, like right before. I was never really there, but there's a lot of shit going on down there. So like, it's kind of like. So let's see here. It looks like Aaron might be back here.
Hey, welcome back, man.
Man, I don't know. Man, you hear me now?
Yeah, it's still a little choppy, but
a little better.
A little better. So why don't you tell us what you're drinking? Let's get to that.
Greg gave me this. This is the new Solaris. So I've never had it before, but I'm enjoying it. I can't tell you that it tastes vanilla or cinnamon like beer. It tastes like beer. That's all I got. I have the palate of a small child.
That's good.
In this case,
a small child who drinks beer.
Hey, some children do. So if you're in Italy or something.
We met you at Dad 2, which is ultimately it's a dad blogger conference where everybody tries to, there's networking between the dad bloggers, brands and all that. So that means that you're a writer. Look at that. And my friend Doug's a writer too. And you guys have been, both of you have been Spotlight readers. Aaron, I missed your presentation last year. I heard it was fabulous. It was the one year I missed out of 6. And Aaron goes and rocks the stage, and I missed it. But Doug, you have a I just wanted to kind of jump it over to you about
Yeah. So
horrible segue, but we're working on it.
Well, Aaron, you're kind of one of the OG dad blogger guys. So obviously, like, I'm more of a new kid on the block to that stuff. But I know you're coming out with a book here, and I wanted to kind of talk about that a bit because it's a really, really important topic. I mean, so can you talk a little bit just about that, if you real quick?
Yeah. You guys can't hear me. Yell at me.
Yeah.
And it, the time when kindergarten with it's funny, he had been mom and kids were like, and do your what boys do, take it off. And he was just devastated, just really, really devastated. And so I got pretty ticked off because no parent likes to see their kid bullied. So I fired off a Twitter thread late that night after I had calmed him down and talked to him and all that good stuff. And, I hit send on the Twitter thread and I went to bed. When I woke up in the morning, I thought my phone was broken. I mean, it was it was the notifications. It was like a slot machine. It was crazy. And before I knew it, before I'd even left the house for work at 6:30 in the morning, there was People Magazine and USA Today and Upworthy and BuzzFeed and Mashable. And it went on from there. It got crazy. And
real quick, hold on there. You came in choppy a little bit. So are you talking about Sam and his nails?
Yeah. And that's really what drove this book. So when this all blew up, Sam and his fingernails, from all that press attention came a phone call from a publisher who said, "Hey, would you like to write a book about it?" And yeah, this is the Twitter thread at the time. I think it was October of 2018. And I put this out there and, everyone really, the response was overwhelming. Like an idiot, I somehow deleted the initial tweet, which had like 80-something thousand likes, and it's just gone now, which is just horrible. But the rest of the thread is there, and you can see it got quite a response. And so I got a call from a publisher who said, I think this is the right time for this. Would you like to write a book? And I said, that's my dream, is to write a book. So hell yes, I would love to do that. Only problem is I work a very full-time job. I commute 3 hours a day, and I had to basically write this book on train rides to and from Boston. But I did it because it's a really important subject to me. It's about raising boys. It's called Raising Boys to Be Good Men. And it's about I have 3 sons. Sam here in the thread is my middle child. He's now 6. I have an almost 12-year-old and a 4-year-old. So I'm raising 3 boys in the age of Me Too and the age of toxic masculinity. And it's a minefield. And really, I don't want to give too much away in the book. It's coming out in June. It's called Raising Boys to Be Good Men. And it is honestly it's a lot about me and how stupid I was and how pretty, terrible I was sometimes. Looking back, when you write a book and it involves this stuff, you look back and you think about every questionable decision that you made. and you see a lot of problems, man. You see problems you didn't even know existed. You see problems you couldn't even see before. And in doing that, I mean, I had a ton of those, and I actually went back to a few people, from 20 years ago, and I found them, and I actually apologize. It's like, one of the big things, is rape culture in there, and talking with your kids about consent and everything that goes with that. And, I think a lot of guys if they get a talk at all, then the talk is, hey, don't rape anybody, and then like, that's the bar. We think we're heroes if we didn't actually sexually assault somebody. And that's sad, because there are a lot of ways that you can contribute to rape culture without actually raping somebody. And looking back, I was guilty of those. I was manipulative and mean sometimes. And I was just trying to get to yes, and it's like, writing this book caused me to apologize to some people and say, I now realize my behavior was pretty bad. And you just think about all these little things that happen. And the reason I wrote the book the way that I did, I'm hoping to catch someone like myself who might be thinking, keep an open mind, and say, oh shit, I was part of the problem. And that's the long way of goal of this. Get parents to think how they're raising their sons today. A lot easier to raise, to bad men one. Well, 60,000. It's available for pranks. Really excited. I just got a herb, for instance, in blue. Thing there is that they say about the stuff. So,
Eric, we're having some, Aaron, we're having some issues with your audio there. So,
sorry guys.
That's okay. It happens, and we're going live with this, so it happens. But
now it's not happening anymore.
we'll definitely make sure we have in a group that we puts link for your book. And the space that you're coming from is same space I'm in. I got all teens. Greg has teen boys. We're knee deep in all this, so this is a pretty apropos book for the times, and we appreciate you writing it. So.
Thanks, guys. Sorry about the audio.
Hey, again, no worries. I would say something about maybe banging on trash cans or something like that, but we'll scooch past that.
But we are the first. I believe we are the first generation. Again, the Me Too thing. Again, we are the first generation that this has really shifted hard as far as people looking at themselves, as far as how we're treating each other. I mean, it seems like a really thing that we should already have. But I mean, I understand corresponding with you. I corresponding with our friend Mike Reynolds from Canada. When I hear you guys talk, and when I hear these things, it just tells me that I have a lot to learn. And if I have a lot to learn, that means my sons have a lot to learn. So, a lot of this is uncomfortable. A lot of it is you have to look at yourself a lot. You said you looked at yourself when you're writing this book. I mean, I think every father of a male at this point has to really look at himself and make sure that we're modeling, behavior as opposed to just running their mouth. Because my kids, I don't know about your kids, Aaron, but my kids don't listen to me. They look.
No.
And they're like, I can see my youngest, like, sometimes just like, and like, sometimes it's too much, man, because it's like, that level, that raises your level of how you have to behave. You can't just run around and talk. Do you have anything? I mean, do you have anything to jump off of what I just said? That's kind of my anecdote about this and how I feel.
Yeah, I would say it's really never too early to talk to your kids about things like consent, and things like that. And the way that I did it, and I stumbled around in the dark at first. I had to find ways that work. And I remember I was trying to talk to my oldest last year. He was 11, and trying to talk to him about consent. And as I'm trying to talk to him, I remember he's nervously holding the cat down. And I kind of just stopped and I said, "Hey, buddy, do you think the cat is comfortable right now? She's meowing. She wants to get the heck away from you, and you're sitting there holding her, buddy. That's consent, And he, all of a sudden, the light bulb went off. He's like, "Oh, I get it. All right, that makes sense now." And it's like, you just got to search around till you find little ways like that to connect with kids, and you never know what's going to do it. So but you got to keep trying. That's the whole point of this book. Keep trying and keep talking and find a way. And it's not just one conversation, it's 100 conversations, and you just got to keep having them over and over and over again. But they're vital to have. And, I know you guys are going to have those. You guys are great parents. I think we are kind of in a bubble with our Dad 2.0 crowd. These are involved parents, like you said, with Reynolds. Mike Reynolds is great. Follow Mike on Twitter and all the social channels. Conversations have to be had, and unfortunately they're not being had to the point where we can really fix anything. So if I could just impart any advice, it's just the conversation going, because eventually it will sink in.
Oh, I got another question, Doug. I don't want to.
No, but Daniel Fisher said something there. He thought that was a great anecdote about the cat because, again, you're making it relatable. That's important.
Yeah.
And the running conversation piece is huge. We have, like I said, we have active running conversations with our kids. When we were teens, this is something you're speaking to, Aaron, is the idea that, our generation, I'm almost 50, so I might be a little older than you, but it's still in the same wheelhouse. It's still the parents are going to give you the talk, but the talk's going to be either nothing or it's going to be very clinical, and you're not getting any feedback about how to talk to the people you're dating, consent, what that consent means, and consent can be something as simple as oh, I don't want to hug Uncle John. Boy, you don't have to. Your consent is that you don't want to. And being able to say, well, I consent to, Aunt Carol and I'm going to hug her. Great. That's a little hard for me because I grew up not doing that. It was like, all right, well, you're forced to hug and do all that stuff. So there's several folks who have that sort of thing where they give you the sort of age appropriate thing, but really it's your kids. Your kids are going to give you the guide of what's appropriate for them at what age. So yeah, so we're rambling on here about this stuff, which is great. And I know I give you a lot of shit on social media, but I genuinely really admire you and how you handle parenthood. And I was super stoked to get you on this show. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, man. Thank you. This is fun.
I never asked Aaron because I never thought he liked beer. So
yeah, I thought it was just Coors Light, Bud Light. But
so
that's
Aaron,
okay.
I'm growing up. I'm just a late bloomer.
Real quick before if we move on from the book, so the book started with Sam's nails. So I know you guys a little bit personally, not that good, but I know you a little bit personally. So how did Sam? You talked a little bit about how you handle it, and with all due respect, man, you're a big boy and you've had previous controversies. So you've been down this road of virality and people coming at you. How did Sam feel with this overwhelming, it was an overwhelming, I just felt overwhelming, love going towards him. I know he went through a hard time, leading up to that, obviously. So how did this all work out for him, emotionally, and how was all that? How did you deal with that as a parent? Because that's something.
It was interesting. So yeah, you had good and bad. Obviously,
how old was Sam?
Sam was 5 at the time.
Okay.
So he was 5, and all of a sudden, he's in the spotlight. But the biggest thing, everyone knows that Twitter can be an absolute cesspool, right? So
Yeah, I can.
And I mean, it was for a little bit. The regular people came out. All the trolls came out in force. The worst of that was actually Sam and I on a neo-Nazi website, the Daily Stormer, put us front and center on. The Daily Stormer put us front and center on their website, and this is a full-blown neo-Nazi website.
Yep.
And it was as bad as you expect it to be. And it's never a fun conversation telling your wife, "Hey, honey, don't freak out, but we're on a Nazi website." And that was terrible, but it was counteracted by the sheer amount of positivity and awesomeness coming from literally around the world. I mean, there was no question. There were people from all corners of the planet just reaching out, painting their nails, sending it to Sam, telling him to hang in there. Martellus Bennett from the Patriots, he wrote something in support. And then obviously Rob Gronkowski sends Sam a personalized message. And that was the best part, because I'm a huge Patriots fan. And I mean, to get that, I jumped off the couch. I ran into a wall. It was just, I'm like, Gronk sent you. Now he thinks Gronk is his buddy. Like, he thinks they're personally connected, which I'm kind of okay with. But seriously, even beyond that, there were entire offices of people painting their nails and sending. There was a Girl Scout troop who put on a last minute event where they invited people in to have their nails painted, and they brought Sam in and they gave him a gift. And the show of support was really something, and that's because Sam did not want to wear his nail polish anymore. Even though he loves it and he said he loved it, he didn't want to wear his nail polish anymore. And honestly, the response from Twitter when I was able to show him all these people sending in messages of support and pictures of themselves putting nail polish on, that is really what gave him the courage to keep going and wearing that stuff. And he still does. Yeah, I don't think he has it on right now, but he paints his nails whenever he feels like it. And he's got some makeup. So we gave him a makeup kit. He loves it. So I won't lie. The thought of that would have made me really uncomfortable 10 years ago. But who cares? It's a kid who likes colors, and that's the long and short of it. Yeah. And so handling that, the unintended consequence of handling that was that he got on the Today Show, and then he thought he was famous. I remember we were riding the train into Boston after that happened, and he's looking around and he's got this puzzled look on his face, and I'm like, Sam, what's wrong? You look confused. He's like, I'm just why aren't these people talking to me? Don't they know I'm famous? And so I'm like, buddy, let's a bud right now. You're not famous. You're internet famous. And so a real big head about it.
That's funny. Man, what a freaking thing. Yeah, so it's a bit choppy, but that's okay. We're working through it. So, Greg, you were the first. We had Aaron talk about his spotted cow, which he liked, which is great. Greg, what do you got going next? Greg, you're muted, by the way.
This is why I keep you around, Doug. I've always said it.
And the voice
another reason I keep you around,
scary.
And another reason I keep you around is because you know what I like. And you gave me this Falcon Punch IPA. And this is pretty damn good. I like it a lot. I don't know if you saw, Aaron's been talking, and I've just been.
Yeah, hey, man. Get at it. Get after it.
You ever have this one, Doug?
I did not. I had a sample of it, and I thought that was definitely up your alley because it's IPA. It's like a classic, pretty much a classic American IPA, I believe.
Absolutely. And, as you know, and I don't know, like, I've seen Aaron post some things about beer. as he's been jumping in. And you know, a lot of your observations are pretty dead on, to be honest with you, man. I don't know if I saw you actually bitch about too many IPAs, but I mean that's just something that everybody talks about. But I also see a lot of I don't know about you guys, but and then Doug and I just did a swing. I'm pretty sure I've been seeing less IPA heavy places. I think people are coming off their IPA. Again, we got to make money as brewers, and we all want our brewers to make money so that they're there. And another thing I preach, Aaron, is that you know I think breweries are the new mom and pop. They're like the newest small business that came out of nowhere. You know, you see sometimes a kid running, you know, behind the bar, and the wife doing the damn, you know, the counting, and she's behind that. You know, she's behind. It's so to me, like that's why I love her. But this is a really nice IPA. Not too crazy. Not too. It doesn't have cocoa nibs in it or any of that shit. So like, so I don't know. And but a lot of things you say about craft beer, man, especially coming in, being a new observer to it. You pretty much, you know, you have a great, you observe pretty well, actually. You translate that to words really good. That's why you're a good writer. Anywho.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, Doug. This is good.
Yeah. Well, that one is also from Lucky Hair, which is does some really fun stuff. They're up in the Finger Lakes up by me. So I really enjoy their stuff.
Yep. And I believe, Doug, unless you're ready, it's kind of time for our sponsor, isn't it?
I think so. So let me grab my next beer since I didn't even open this one yet. This is also from a friend of mine who came and did a road trip with me from Giant Jones Brewery. A Burton Ale, which I have never heard of in my life. So I was like, you gave me this one. Giant Jones has go ahead. Sorry, Greg, you were gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that Giant Jones is the only organic brewery in Madison. They brew bigger beers. They came out saying we want to have higher ABV beers, but the catch with them is they're so drinkable and all that. And they have a fantastic story. They're LGBTQ brewery, and also they're all fully organic. And when you go into their brewery, they have like, you know, one of my skepticisms of them was like, how are you going to do big beers and be responsible? And when you go in there, they all have they have 1 ounce and 2 ounces for like $1. So you can try everything for like $4 or $5. You're not over consuming because it's only 1 ounce, and you're tasting everything they got. And then you can take their beer that you got, take it home. I mean, you get out of there with $11, you got something to come home with. They're affordable. They're approachable. They're beautiful people. They're fantastic. Go, Doug.
Yeah. So I opened up and started spilling all over my pants. So that was a great way to open it.
Okay.
The Burton Ale kind of looks almost like a red ale to me, a little bit, but cloudier.
It's a historic beer that she looked up and she made it herself from historic.
Yeah. And look at that label. This is the badass chick on the front of it. That is awesome.
And the Giant Jones ladies are badass. So it's perfect.
That is badass. So I was like, and you saw, I know when you gave this to me, I was like, that is perfect for me because I love good labels. So the thing that I don't know, Aaron, if you've ever seen me, but I am a stickler for labels. If you're going to invest, if you are in marketing and you say, I'm doing a good label on my product, then your product it means you're probably going to invest more time in your product to make sure it's good too. So if it's a good label, I'm already in. If it's a shitty label, I'm really dubious. What I'm liking about this is just it's not quite a red ale. It's not red enough, but it's kind of in that mix. It's like a copper ale that doesn't have the. I need another sip of that.
I told you, man. I told you. That's a different brew.
It's good, and it's definitely different. I've never had a beer quite like this. Usually with copper ales, you have that kind of taste that hangs on. This almost finishes. It's not hoppy, but you know how when you have a hoppy beer and it has that little bit of a finish on your tongue? That's how it finishes for me. But it's good, but Also, it's 9.6% ABV, which is really high. Does not drink that
Wow.
way. Does not drink that way at all.
Yeah.
That is the scary thing. Is it's like, oh, it's pretty smooth, and I can get them. But yeah, what was that one?
That's certain zones for you though. Like again, their beers are high, but they don't taste it. It's scary. You get out of there with 1 ounce, you're like, I'm cool.
Yeah. So, Aaron, what the Spotted Cow? How much was that ABV? I've actually never even looked at their ABV.
4, 5, 4, 4.
I'm trying to find it.
4. Do we need the? Oh,
Is it 4?
Do we even?
Craig can pull it up though. Like
Yeah,
I said,
I can't even find it.
a couple of times, but like I've never actually looked at the ABV on it.
let's see here. They don't even put it on our website. What's up with that, y'all?
I don't. Honestly, it's not on the can.
And it's not on their website either.
That's weird.
They're going to give you a guess.
Hide
You're
in
gonna say
something.
it's 5, and it's 85% ABV. It'll be great. It'll be like
Hide in something. Yeah. So, yeah, Aaron. So the deal with that beer is that's Wisconsin's best craft brew selling for sure. Going away. New Glarus is a brewery that only brews and then they only distribute to Wisconsin. So then there's this sense of scarcity within the craft beer community. So when I travel, I bring that as something that I just give away. And as you saw, I was at the end of that too, just handing them out to people. I like to, I appreciate when people come onto our show and bring attention to our show, and we like to bring attention to you guys. But I like to give beer, so that's why you got it. So Aaron, you got I gave you another one. Are you ready to crack that one open, or did you already?
Yeah, man. What's next?
My picture.
I didn't hear him. Did you, Doug?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I think he said he's going to go get it.
That's cool. All right,
Okay, so
I'm going to say that Burnt Ale was something that I
talk about it.
really, really, really enjoyed. I'd never had anything quite like that.
And you won't, man, because again, she went to the history books, and Daniel Fisher said that Dogfish Head might have did something. Dogfish Head might have did a Burnt Ale.
Oh yes, wait, I have had that. I didn't realize almost because that Burton Baton has almost a sweeter note. This is not that. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I get. He's right. I've had that, but it's very much sweeter than what this is. This is like it tasted a lot like a copper ale to me, but really good. All right, Aaron, what you got, man?
All right, this is another Greg special, Ambergeddon. I think this is Ale Asylum. Yeah, Ale Asylum. I have not tried this yet.
So, did you have that one yet?
Yeah, I have not opened it yet. I have 2 of those. I'm cellaring one and gonna have one in my fridge.
I like it. Yeah, it goes down pretty smooth. I've been on a big IPA kick lately, and this is not that, but which is funny because I never ever liked IPAs, and now they've weirdly taken over my weekends, and I don't really know why. I have no good explanation for that. But this is good. I like it. It's a little lighter, but I'm digging it.
Next time we hang, I'm having you try some stouts with me because I got to bring for you to try. But this is great. Because I remember the most craft beer style beer you had that I saw is when you went for the summer shandy from Langenkugel's.
Yeah.
And I was like, great, that's awesome. And I love that beer. I love that beer. I love it when it's hot and you mow the grass, and it's like there's something super refreshing about that. And
yeah, I've been on I love the summer shandies. That's coming up. Summer's right around the corner, right? But I also just I went to Vermont, last year, and we hit the Long Trail Brewery, and I think my favorite just might be their Vermont IPA, which is old as hell. It's been around forever, but it's real good. And I like, I already mentioned the place that we go. It's one of those mom and pop shops, Greg, like you were talking about. It's Craft Roots in Milford. It's also LGBT. It's run by of a woman and her wife. One of them's a former state police officer, and they got into brewing, and it's great because you never know it's there. It's almost like a speakeasy. There's this, they're brewing in this industrial warehouse, and then there's just this little tap room, and it's great. And I've been for a couple years now, almost every Friday night with my college roommate, and it's called Hopstar. I'm weirdly into the citrusy kind of IPAs now, which they have a bunch of, and they're very, very good. And it's like a whole new. I know I'm like way late to the game, but I'm liking it. And you guys have already discovered all this great beer, and I'm kind of coming in way late, but it's kind of nice. Now I know what I was missing, so I'm getting into it now, and that's why I like everyone giving me recommendations.
What do you say?
Cruz jumps in with the bomb. Aaron can't read. That's bad.
Wow. Apparently Mike's had some beer tonight too. So happy birthday, Mike. Happy birthday. I know it's your birthday. Right. I hope you're getting turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the Douglas Adams, the meaning of life age here too. So happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mike. And Mike needs to come on too. I talked to him about it last week.
Yeah, we need to get him in here too.
And Aaron, we don't care when you come on board, as long as you eventually come on board. And again, to me, craft beer was about just having different flavors. Like, I just love the different flavors. That's kind of really where it's all about. Now, again, I know I can get stuck with being called a hipster and all this other stuff, and that's fine. But it's really more about the flavor and all that. So one thing I want to enlighten everyone about Aaron. One of my favorite Aaron Gouveia moments, besides the Sam Nail thing, will always be epic. It'll just always be my number one moment. It's just fantastic. It was just great how it all played out. I was right there. I was like, yes. But I was also right there for the pajama controversy. And that's when you really came onto my screen, man. Like, I knew about this. I knew about you when we had met and all this. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, people are all upset about this. I couldn't wrap my head around it. And, like, my whole house, like, me and the lady were going back and forth about it. And it was just an amazing connecting thing. Please speak to that, and then we'll get to a word from our sponsor after that. You got to tell.
Yeah, this was. I think when you write about your life full time and you're a blogger full time, it gets hard to come up with content, right? So, one of the things, I had an argument with my wife a few years ago. I worked from home 3 days a week at the time, and on the days I worked from home, I thought nothing of, putting on some pajamas and going to the bus stop, which was the end of my driveway. And we lived in a pretty remote area, so no one's really around. But I'd go out in my pajamas, put my kid on the bus, and then come back in and start my work day. And my wife one day, MJ, she turned to me and said, you really should put on real pants before you go outside. And I said, oh, who cares? I'm like, what does it matter?
They are real pants.
Yeah, I'm like, they are real and they're pajamas. And so what? Like, no one's out there. It's not like I'm driving to school or something. I'm just wearing pajamas and get on the bus. And I couldn't believe it. I just put this on the blog. It was crazy.
Right.
I wrote and will have Emma's stuff. And I mean, this thing, it was in post. Who cared? Was the reason it was and
can you hear that?
I read
the audio is a bit choppy, Aaron. So we're getting your demonstrativeness. So we know it's important.
Right.
Is it any better now, or?
Yeah, there we go. Much better.
All right. So yeah, I ran with it and I made up this thing called #top PJs. I started dressing in new pajamas every single day and taking pictures of it and making fun of myself and fanning the flames of this faux controversy for a month or so. And it was absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, you never know what's going to take off. You really don't.
No.
Right, Doug. Because real quick, we had a moment like this at that too. What was it? The Saturday night at that too. If everybody knows, it's like the last night of that too. They wrap up everything. You usually go to dinner with the people that you usually hang with, and then usually it's a quick night. Usually it's a slow night because everybody's like jumping on planes and trying to get home, so everybody can go back to work on Monday and resume dad life and all that. So the last Saturday night, we just hung out in the hotel and we just drank the beers that we had, and we were talking about politics and we were in DC, and I'm like I kept saying my theme was I didn't come to DC to talk about politics this week. Like no, I'm not doing it. So we started this conversation about like why I took a road trip, stopped at Doug's house, and then came here. So when I was at Doug's house, they had this wonderful, like I almost felt like I was at an Airbnb, no lie. Like where you get like your own room, like wonderful room, and the bed was all made up. It was nice. I love it. It's right by the bathroom because I'm an old dude who pees like 700 times a night. It was perfect. Right by the I get my water. And then Doug and Joe are amazing. I love them. They're my friends. Love them. They're best. Anyway, it was great, but they didn't have a top sheet, Aaron. So
and they shouldn't have a top sheet because that's bed.
No.
That's bed prison. That's bed prison. That is bed prison.
Listen,
you don't want a top sheet.
So
bed prison.
Like, why wasn't there a top sheet? And Doug's like, well, we don't do a top sheet in our house. So then what happened?
That's right.
We started this conversation at Dad too in this room, and I put it on Facebook. And seriously, literally 10 minutes after, there was 80 comments. And it was like I love these faux controversies because especially in a time where like seriously we have so many issues. Like we could seriously have a 5-hour marathon about the issues that we have in our fucking country right now.
Yeah,
literally 5 hours won't be enough.
From that first hour or two.
Right. It's really nice to have a faux controversy where people really go in. So I'm gonna ask you your opinion on top sheets. I already heard it. But so out of this whole top sheet thing, listen, this is my explanation. My lady bought me these flannel sheets, and they're fantastic because I could just use the top sheet on it, and I don't have to use the comforter, because I get hot. Put it on, I get hot, then I throw it off, then I get cold, and then rinse and repeat. When I have a top sheet, I can just put the top sheet on, and it just keeps me warm at night, and I don't have to any of this shit. So that's why I love the top sheet.
Aaron is not so.
Now I'm getting attacked by people who like comforters. So what the comforters say, I'll let you guys talk. They say that, we'll get hot. We don't need a top sheet because we'll put the comforter on, and when we get hot, we stick 1 foot out of the damn
1 foot.
Yes.
What the
fuck
is that?
I'm sorry that you don't understand. I'm sorry that you don't understand the way that it is.
What is there to understand? It's 1 foot. Do I put 2 out? What happens when the 1 foot gets cold? Do I put it back? It's just so much. Why don't you just get a top sheet and we can just figure all this out?
Listen. The first thing I did, this drives MJ. MJ's in your camp. My wife is in your camp. So the first thing I did in DC when we got into the hotel room, I walk right over to that bed and I tear out the top sheets. I tear it all out. Absolutely. Absolutely.
He was totally in your camp on that.
You have to, otherwise you're trapped in there. It's like something just holding you down and pinning you down. It's telling people, I don't want to be trapped. It is bed prison. That's what a top sheet is. And yes, a comforter, you can kind of just take half the comforters. You can have your right leg out, and I don't know why, but your leg doesn't get cold. It's fine. If it's just one leg, it doesn't get cold. It's just physics. It's science.
So I'm gonna throw in the one person in the room we were in the room used to work in a hotel and said they never wash those things. they never watch the comforters or the top things like and she's like all the CSI blue light things are all over that, and you're just putting that on your body. And
Right.
that was like, that's gross. And I'm like,
right.
Now, to be fair, I was in a king size bed with my roommate, and we didn't have separate beds, so it was like that was kind of like almost a barrier. So that was kind of a workaround for me. But I am with you, Aaron. I am very much just throw the comforter on. I can wash the comforter, like, or
Yep.
the other thing was like Joe came up with the idea of like, well, you have a comforter and you put a duvet over it.
Oh.
We do that too. We do that too. Now, Greg, I bet we won't even get into like whether you do washcloths in the shower, but I mean that's a whole other topic that gets debated a lot too.
Well, the washcloths in the shower like so 1970s. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't do it, but a lot of people do. I have a loofah. I like my loofah, but there's a whole washcloth contingent, and then there's there's people who use nothing. I guess they're just using their hand, which I don't know. Like, but
wow.
I put a poll on Twitter, and most people don't use anything. They don't use it. No washcloth, no loofah, just nothing. See, look at Doug. Look at Doug.
Me.
Yep.
You know what? And I can confirm that Doug does not stink. I can confirm that.
Hey.
Yeah. Well,
thanks, Greg. I appreciate that.
There's a glowing recommendation. Look at that. Hey, you don't stink.
Doug's okay. At least he doesn't stink.
Right. So that could be a segue to something that I want to talk about too. So who does not stink clearly is Tom Brady. But we also don't know where this motherfucker's gonna play this year. Do you have any inside info, man? You're the guy who had the rings. We were, in our promo, we had the ring. What's going on? Tell us what's up.
There's a different rumor every day. I mean, every day around here. And now I'm hearing the 49ers, which doesn't make any sense because even if they did pull the trigger, even if they did pull the trigger on that, I imagine that Jimmy G would be going to someplace like Miami, not necessarily New England.
How many years?
Because
he has left at his high level.
I think basically barring injury, play 2 more years.
I'm sorry, you were choppy. What was that?
Barring injury, 2 more years is what I heard.
Barring injury, 4 years. And, I don't think stellar. I think the road years, but he's the upper middle back in the A-League. Honestly, with Tom Brady, I mean, I clearly have a hell man for. In New England will. I mean, you guys know this adds 4 years. I've been games. I was, that's over. When no one won the game, we were. Go on this run is amazing, and I don't back it on. Little drop. That's kind of annoying, and I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves, but. Just either way, I feel like get on with it already. If we're starting a new era, then let's just start it. If we're not, then let's get him some damn weapons so that he has something to do. All right, Mike Cruz. All right, settle down.
Right.
By the way,
oh man, right.
By the way, I just want to say that. All right, so we have had our arguments about basketball goats, but I don't think there's any argument about the goat of the QB. That's your guy's the guy. So
yeah, he is. He absolutely is. All these people who are like, "Oh, Montana was 4-0." I'm like, yeah, dude. Brady's made it to what 9 Super Bowls? He's basically made it to a Super Bowl every other year of his career, and that is more impressive than going 4-0 in Super Bowls.
I'm not gonna.
Yes.
I'm gonna stay with it. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. My NBA corollary, I will keep quiet for now.
Yeah, because Bill Russell's the GOAT, and that's fine, and you know that.
At least you don't say Jordan though. That's cool. At least you don't say Jordan, Aaron. I can agree with that.
Yeah,
cool.
I'd rather Bill Russell than Jordan. If you say Russell, I'm
Bill
in.
Russell above Jordan. Period. That's no question. Actually,
just no LeBron. LeBron can go away.
Come on,
go away, LeBron.
That's where you and I are gonna quarrel quite a bit.
Nope. Yeah. Go away.
Just because you're a Bostonian or a Bostoner, as they called you a Bostoner, you got really offended by that.
A Bostoner?
Yeah,
boy.
And I did that intentionally because I knew that would annoy you. So forgive me on that, but yeah.
So our friend Afro Beer Chick loved our conversation.
Oh no! So this is Aaron. You are all right. So Shalonda is the fucking shit, and I adore her and can't wait till she's back on the show.
Anyway,
and she's from Chicago, so I'm not sure what she's trying to say there. So
I actually like Chicago. Chicago's a great city.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. Their pizza's for shit, but otherwise it's a great city.
And now it's without a doubt time for a sponsor.
Yes. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, we've already talked about it a little bit, but I'm a first-time author. I've never written a book before, and my first book is coming out June 16th, right around Father's Day, which makes a good Father's Day gift. And it is called "Raised to Be Good Men: A Parent's Guide to Bringing Up Happy Sons in a World Filled with Toxic Masculinity." And I know some people roll their eyes at the phrase toxic masculinity, and, they have their opinions about the Me Too movement, but you can't deny that we're living in a world that encourages women to do everything. And that's great because we need that. And I love seeing, lean in and girl power. All that stuff is important. We need it. We have to have it. But we need to do right by our boys too. So while you're encouraging girls to be scientists and mathematicians and have careers in STEM and, to be quote unquote tomboys, let's also extend that same courtesy to boys. And let's make sure that we tell boys that it's okay to be emotionally vulnerable, to talk about your feelings, to cry, to, do things like my son did, like wear nail polish. That's what this is all about. And even to have, platonic friendships where you can hug and, just be a real human being. I feel like we do our boys a really huge disservice when we don't allow them a full range of human emotions. And that's what this book is about. And it's not a preachy, well, it is kind of a preachy book, but it's also, I'm my own biggest critic. I call myself out constantly because writing this book made me look at how I was acting, how my own version of masculinity played out in my own life. And it wasn't always pretty. And I felt and still do feel like a huge fraud writing this book. And, I told my editor that flat out. I told lots of people that flat out. And they said that, hopefully that works to my advantage because, do you want to read a book about getting sober from somebody who's never had a drink? I don't know. To me, I'd want to hear from somebody who had been through it, who had seen the error of their ways and who had, come out the other side. And that's really me with masculinity and toxic masculinity, because I was certainly a part of the problem. And, frankly, still at times I'm a part of the problem, but I recognize what's happening and I'm trying to be better and I'm trying to change. And that's really all I'm asking people to do. I'm asking people to take a look at their behavior and how it affects their kids and really think about it. And this book touches on everything. I think there's 36 tips in there. And, they range on it. I touch on religion, politics, guns, gender reveal parties, which I fucking hate for a host of reasons. Because, you know, now people are like shooting shit with pink shit and blue shit coming out and setting wildfires. And I mean, there's just no reason for this. But even the tropes and the stereotypes, you know, it's perfectly normal apparently for fathers of girls to threaten would-be male suitors with guns, you know, and stuff like that. And it just makes me crazy because someone threatens my sons with a gun, then hell no, we're gonna have a problem. And you know, you would never do that to a girl. And you know, what's funny is if times haven't changed too much, when I was younger, girls were more mature. Girls were the aggressors a lot of the time. Let's be honest. You know, your little princess sometimes is, you know, she knows what she's doing a lot more than you know, some of these guys out there. That was certainly the case for me. So, you know, this book really does tackle everything. It's available for pre-sale now on Amazon. It comes out. Thank you, Shalonda. I really appreciate that. I like you. We're gonna talk more. I think we're gonna meet up.
Come to
but
it's Fresh Fest.
It's available now. You can order it out June 16th, and it does well. I have no idea what it's like. First time, but I really hope you buy. I really want to book. I read you guys on and message because it's most popular, and you end up see what it's worth. And for me, hope it does this my job. So. Do well. I was options and how much away from my family and quit. Jumped with my sons. He needs me right now. So it's a bit of a risk, but kind of trusting the universe will help me have a soft landing. So again, please buy this book. If not for the message that it sends, then just to support a soon-to-be unemployed writer.
Yeah, that's part of this too. So yeah. And you see, I'm going to tell you, Shalonda's good people. Fresh Fest is a thing that Greg and I are going to in Pittsburgh. And it is a beer festival that promotes people of color who are brewers, who are brewery owners, and the lot. Greg, you can speak to that better.
That's awesome.
But
yeah, that's where I'm at. Afro Beer Chick was at the Fresh Fest, and but it's
Shalonda's Afro Beer Chick, by the way.
Yeah, it's proposed as, you know, the only black beer fest in America, but ultimately it's really a cultural fest. And it's just not just beer. There's mixed spirits and the food, man. The food. Like the food.
Nice.
I don't even care about the beer. I mean, I do with the food and the people and just the you know, again, it's a black beer fest, but you know, our white friends are not only invited, you guys are all up in it, and we were all up in it, and it was all good time. But like, you know, the thing about, with all due respect to, you know, white America and all that, there are not really many space, you know, safe places for black people. So we have to make our own spaces, and we invite you, just like white people do. White people make their own spaces, and they invite everybody else in. It's just the same thing. So just because we're a quote black beer festival, oh man, bring everybody. Like we just want, you know, we want it to look like America, or they want it to look like America. I don't know. I've only been once. I want it to look like America. So that's how it looks. And black people drink beer too. Good beer. We don't just drink Colt 45, which come on. But we laugh, but it's the truth, man. But so I met Afro Beer Chick there. I had started I had met her, or I started following her before that, and then I just met her at Fresh Fest, and she was as fun as hell. She came on my show, Aaron. I don't know if you know. She came on our show, And I don't know, obviously my name is Daddy Porter. That's my pseudonym. And Doug is like stouts and porters all day long.
Yep.
And this woman came on my show and told me that porters were brown water. And
Yeah,
it was funny. It was right. And it's funny. Dude,
Wow.
she didn't allude to anything. She just dropped that bomb.
Coming at all. She was like, "Here you go."
Right. And Doug and I were like, "Wow, that's crazy." So, she's a character. She's amazing. She's fun.
She's great.
She's just another person that we
You definitely follow her. She's hilarious and really thoughtful, and definitely someone you should look to. Listen, it's not just about beer.
I'm in.
A lot of things are great. So
I said what I said.
What I said. That might be the best oh my God, that's the best response
I love it.
ever.
I'm only going to leave that comment. I don't want to promote that shit, so I'm only going to leave it up for so long.
All right, man.
I'll leave that one up, though, because that's her. That's our girl.
That is down there. So, Greg, do you have one more? I have one more if you don't. Aaron,
you around?
Yeah?
Aaron,
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I drank my third one. Perpetual.
Oh, you drank it already?
Well, it's here. It's here. I can't wait, man. It's Friday night. Listen, man, I was
a little worried about that one because I gave you that one, and that one had been sitting in my fridge for about a month. As an IPA, I was worried.
Yeah. I've had it before though, and I wore the shirt because I drove through. But Aaron, I know you were drinking because you were posting that on your Facebook. And Doug and I we were drinking. And it wasn't really I don't know, Doug. It wasn't like a really, really heavy weekend of drinking, but it seemed like it was concentrated enough that when I last saw you, Doug, we were like, "I'll see you on Friday." That's the next time I'm drinking.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need any more. And it wasn't like we were just getting shit faced and hammered. It wasn't that at all. It just was like a slow and steady,
right?
All weekend. But that's actually better because then you get, when you get if you drink enough, you're just like everything tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Greg,
put a little bourbon in it. You ever do that, Aaron? You ever put a little bourbon in your beer?
So no.
Have you gotten into any of those distilled? Because you see, distilleries are popping up just as much as breweries at this point.
Yeah.
Choppy.
Yeah, sorry, man, and that's okay. So listen, I'm gonna go open mine because this is a fucking bomber, and I gotta open it, or I'm bringing this because Greg and I stopped at this brewery on our way.
You're opening a bomber an hour and 10 minutes into the show.
Yes, because we were talking so damn much.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I was very happy about that. By the way, this is one that Greg and I went to Heavy Seas, which is in Baltimore, on our way home. Heavy Seas was the surprise brewery of our weekend, I think. It was like, I went in, they have this, so this is their old emblem. It's this kind of cartoony, kind of.
Like
hey, pirate. And I was like, and I never gave their beer a lot of credence because it just seemed like kind of clownish. And we went there and they changed their logo and we talked to the one guy behind the bar. What was his? I almost want to say his name was Aaron as well.
I would agree. I'm going to agree with that.
Right. But he was just like,
so he was very handsome.
Holy shit.
There he was.
Wow.
That thing just exploded when I opened it, like all over our carpet. Great.
I remember my first beer.
Doug's sitting in my chair, man. When I was at Doug's house, that was my chair.
And Joe's grabbing paper towels or a towel or something. So.
Oh, wait, you just spilled beer everywhere?
Everywhere. It opened up and just fucking exploded all over the fucking place. So this beer, when we were there, was $5. It was Sunday, and they were selling it for half price.
That's why it exploded everywhere.
Oh my god! It's still dripping all over my feet. It's great.
Are you sitting in a puddle right now?
Holy
Almost.
crap!
Yeah, that's what you're getting. Right?
Aaron loves it too. This is for all the years you were trolling him, Doug.
This is just desserts right now. Jillian, don't help him clean. Just let him sit in his stew. Let him sit and stew in it.
Oh, I'm cleaning the floor, not him.
Yeah, that was
Oh, Doug, hey, look at that. Even ABC's taking shots at you. Look at this.
Oh, I'm going to talk shit about Chicago pizza if you pour 5,000 beers on me. So
Whoa, no. Deep dish is good. Deep dish is very
it's
good.
delicious. It's not pizza. It's a pie
It's pizza.
or a casserole. Maybe.
Take your New York thin crust pizza and shove it right up LeBron's ass.
Hey, well, LeBron's not from New York, so you can say what you like.
Doesn't matter. He plays for LA now. That's even worse.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
I'm going to scooch this back a little bit.
Oh, hilarious. That's what you get for talking shit.
So, the spear that is Joel just fervently cleaning around me. And
I'm just putting that up for report.
yes, you are. Feels like I'm having some of that because I'm cleaning it now. So the reason I got this was it's a Belgian quad that's aged in 4 different barrels, which is kind of weird and awesome. So now I'm like reduced to trying to figure out what to do. That my wife is cleaning up while I'm on a show. So
I was gonna say 3 of the barrels are on the floor.
It was probably fine until they put in that 4th barrel, and then it was. By the way, Shalonda, New York pizza is not cardboard with tomato paste.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I am Team Shalonda. I am Team Shalonda.
Joe comes on the show and fucking puts you right, Aaron.
We gotta have.
I have words.
We gotta have a pizza show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we found a string between you and ABC.
I'm handing it over to my wife and she did all this cleanup.
Did you just lose your beer?
Oh no!
Did you get that taken away from you?
Oh.
I'm taking the bottle.
She's drinking the rest.
Nice.
So this is 10.5%, by the way, so it's pretty heavy.
Doug, look at ABC. Look at
Well,
look at
for beer chicks.
why are you awake?
The porters of pizza. Oh, Shalonda, my friend, you are so wrong. You like porters, so fuck off. No, just kidding.
Look at Afro Beer Chick
Going
video
all
bombing.
kinds of sideways.
She's video bombing at this point.
I don't think I've ever fallen in love with someone as quickly as I'm falling in love with Shalonda right now. This is amazing.
That is a fair point because she is awesome. So anyway,
Team Shalonda.
Team Shalonda.
I don't know what's good for hilarious. Shalonda's points. Doug, the last show we had Fred Swanson. I was spilling beer. Remember this?
I didn't spill. I opened it and just started fucking pouring every fucking place. I didn't have a choice.
Oh, I gotta remember that shit when I open mine.
Yeah, when you open your.
That's why it was $5 then.
Yeah. Well, as my brother-in-law said, he called it a what he called it, a shelf turd.
He called it a shelf turd.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So apparently he was not wrong because I opened it was like Mount Vesuvius coming out on a fucking bottle. So that wasn't great.
Okay, so through all the comments from ABC and the laughing and the mocking that you just got, how was this beer?
The beer is actually quite good. I will say that. It's not as sometimes you have bourbon barrel aged beers, not quite as heavy on the bourbon flavors, but definitely got that barrel aged style. Yeah, good.
Well,
Quad, so it's sweet and got all that.
real quick too, Doug. We have to say, man, we were at Heavy Seed right before we went to Guinness Barrel House, which is you couldn't get two different kind of breweries.
Oh my
You got
god.
the little small, inviting,
Mm-hmm.
like you walk in and you're just like, okay, this is like a small craft brewery. Then you walk into the palace that is Guinness Brew House and the money and
That place.
it's really nice. Food is good. Selection of beer is great. But Doug and I, what was the verdict, Doug, between those two? How do we feel about them?
Well, to me, Heavy Seas had better beer, better atmosphere. Guinness was a little bit more experimental.
Us. We agreed totally on all that shit.
Yeah. All right.
And I don't know, we enjoyed the smaller place. The smaller place was better this time.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. It was right after we left that too. I know Aaron got into an air tube, right? You just jumped in an air tube after that.
I have to step away for a moment, guys. Be right back.
Doug's going. So yeah, you just jumped in an air tube there, Aaron, right at the end there. You and MJ jumped up. You stayed an extra day, didn't you?
Yeah. We stayed until Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, good times. Doug and I jumped out and we ended up heading back, but I don't know, man. That too was this is another good time. I can't wait until your book comes out. I don't know how much buzz is going on with it, but we got until what, June? Is that when it comes out?
June. Yeah, mid-June.
June. Man, so how many hours did it take? Like, because again, anybody who reads or follows Aaron, one thing I love about you, man, is that like it's easy to follow you because you put everything out there, so it's like it's easy, you know what I mean? But I'm sure that I've talked to you and MJ about this personally on the side about how hard this is sometimes and all that. But so you literally wrote this coming back and forth from going back to work.
I have an hour on the train each way, and I figured out that I could do about 1,000 in an hour. Don't spill any more beer while you're gone. Oh,
I didn't feel any of the fucking thing exploded, so don't.
You're never gonna live this down, Doug. It doesn't even matter.
Oh, that's okay.
It doesn't even matter.
You can see what she likes. I'm in the right here.
It doesn't matter. Listen, you understand that the facts don't matter anymore in this world?
It's true.
Right.
Alternative.
It doesn't matter. You spill beer. We say it. It doesn't really matter what happened after that. Come on now.
Damn it.
You almost have to accept it. Are those the facts? No. But we saw something different and we just run with it. Anyway.
Tomorrow, by tomorrow, the story will be Jillian dumped the beer on your head. And that's what happens.
Right.
Maybe
I like that better.
Put it in my mouth as I was in a victory lap.
So, Aaron, seriously though, because you also, again, anybody who follows Daddy Files, you almost went through this whole. You could live Aaron's life literally, because he puts in like sometimes like he leaves work and like he just writes in like when a train is stopped or there's been like snow to stop the train. There's been all kinds of shit. So literally when you're on this train, you've had people talking crazy shit on the phone, smelly people. I mean, you've had all kinds of shit. So you're literally like on like typing in your iPad or your phone and like ideas that you have for the book.
I would have my laptop out, be writing on very cramped, writing like a T-Rex, doing that thing. But I figured out I could get about 1,000 words in an hour. So every train ride, I could bang out about 1,000 words. And between that and nights and weekends, it took about 5 months, 6 months for me to write this. And I kind of put all my inadequacies and fears and being in over my head, put that all out there. I'm still convinced it's going to fail. Might want to throw a launch party, and I refuse to do it because I'm not going to celebrate something that's not going to do well. So I'm a little bit of a pessimist. That's the Red Sox fan in me.
You have no right
You
to
know.
be pessimistic as a Red Sox fan, considering the success you guys have had this century.
Yeah, but I mean that's they balance that against a lifetime of friggin' bullshit.
So, Afro Bear Chick, you will love at Daddy Files on Twitter. Go there, trust me.
Yeah.
Forget about it. It's all good. And look and go scroll back to ABC. Scroll back. You'll see some good ass shit on there. Anyway, no, it's funny too because Aaron, I do know at the end of the day that you're a pessimist. I learned that about you, but it's kind of hard to see the pessimistic side if you just like follow Aaron and the Patriots because obviously, again, they've had so much success, but you can even feel or see the cynicism that even Aaron has with the success. So like that's what I kind of respect about you about a Patriot fan is because there's always that level of like, is this shit too good to be true? Like what the fuck's going on? And you're always the first one to. Again, you're always the first one to be out there to rip Bill Belichick. Hell, you rip him when I don't even know if you should. And we're all like, again, I'm a Patriot hater, so like whenever I have even a little bit of fucking bullshit to run on Patriot fans, I'm gonna run that shit. Like and it's funny though, because again, like I said, like you're throughout the all success, I struggle with calling you a Kool-Aid Patriots fan because I just don't think you just drink the Kool-Aid and run with it. And what do you got? I'll give you a chance to respond to that accusation or whatever.
Yeah. I drink the Kool-Aid a little bit, but
sure.
You gotta understand, like we always thought everything was gonna go wrong, and that's never quite. I mean, it's 6 Super Bowls will help with that, but it's I'll call a spade a spade. It's when Bob Kraft had that massage parlor stuff, I was the first. I still hope he resigns. I hope he hands the team over to Jonathan Kraft.
About that, yeah, he was screaming about it. Uh-huh. you were not happy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm also somebody who, what was it, 2017 when the whole Kaepernick kneeling situation went on? Dude, I took a knee in Gillette Stadium during the national anthem in the stand. So that was an experience. Not received too well. But like that's the kind of crap. And like
shit. Huh. Doug, you remember?
What was that?
No, I didn't make a huge deal. I had my camera running just in case people got real nasty. But
that's a smart choice.
But with Belichick, the stuff with Belichick is because I used to be a reporter for a long time, and those guys, I know a lot of those guys, and they're just doing their jobs. They're asking their questions, and he treats them like shit. I hate the way he talks to the media. It's so unnecessary. Mm-hmm. And, it's not cute. And he still hasn't explained why he didn't play Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. And no one holds him accountable because he always wins. And it's just ridiculous. Like, he owes us some explanation on some stuff. And I want that explanation. And I think he's a smug asshole sometimes.
Forgive me, he doesn't always win. He wins most of the time.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna say this as someone who I'm not a Patriots fan, but I'm also not a hater. I give you shit. I generally don't. I don't hate the Patriots. I don't. When they were undefeated and they were getting ready to go into Super Bowl Giants, I was totally rooting for them. And here's why. I don't want to see those fucking old fuckers from the Dolphins being like, hey, man, let me smoke a cigar so no one else has been undefeated. You guys were undefeated when there was 12 games in the season and there was like 20 teams. Like,
yep.
You're full of shit. I want you. It's all right. So I'm also a Kentucky college basketball fan. When they had a chance to go undefeated, it was less about Kentucky. It was more about taking that shit away from Bob Knight. Because
which is admirable. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So, but the idea that like I hate the Patriots, I don't hate the Patriots. It's much like the Spurs in the NBA. I'm like, I'm tired of seeing them. Great. You've been great for 20 years. Please go away and let other people be great. Like literally, that's where I'm at. And it has nothing to do with the fact that your team's great. Yeah, I'm just all right. We've had 20 years. It's almost half of my life. I'm good. I want to see other people be great. Again, I get as a fan of that team. You're like, so as a Miami Heat fan, yeah, it's different now. But like when LeBron was there, I know I loved that era. I like the team now better. And it has nothing to do with LeBron. It has to do with the fact that like they're different and they're like, we're not great, but what we have, we know how to work with.
Okay, and yet you hate the Celtics, and they're a fun team to watch. They got a bunch of young star power. They got rid of Kyrie. He was a dick.
Oh, God.
Like they're the same kind of team, and you are insufferable with your Celtics hate.
No,
they're a fun team to watch. I'll stand by that.
Now bear with me. The reason I'm not Team Celtics is because when I was young, I was Team Lakers, and I was a Magic Johnson fan and all that jazz because I like. Now, granted, I will give due where it's due. Larry Bird was fucking awesome, and I loved watching him play. I begrudgingly admired his play.
Larry Bird's awesome.
Yeah, but this coronation of Jason Tatum needs to fucking stop.
Oh, whoa, why? He is real good. He is real good.
He's real good. That is the key.
No.
He's real good. Yes.
What is he, 23? He's young as hell. He's going to be he already is a superstar. He already is a superstar, and he's going to get even better. It's happening. Get used to it.
Right. So we really get down.
He very much has the capability to be. If he keeps progressing the way he is, yes, he's one of the top 5 players in the league. He's not there.
Who's your NBA team?
Yes.
The Heat. I said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, cool.
Okay, not the Cavs.
Don't somewhere else. I like the Browns. I mean, that's it. That's the only connection to Cleveland, and we can talk about why I'm there and all that. That's a different story. But I don't have any attachments to Cleveland teams outside of that. So that's one is enough. What the fuck? Like, are you gonna time these other? No. So Doug, I don't know. We're in like 18th hour of our show. So you gave me this Fogtown Spruce thing.
Also, sorry, I was just watching my wife chug out of a bomber bottle, like
the one that you spilled.
Yeah, and
I'm getting a beer. Hang on.
Right. Well, you know what though, Doug? This is on. Look, the video will vindicate you, man. It's right. It's out there.
Hey, man, it's not like I wasn't like shaking the fucking thing up me like I was trying to spray a champagne bottle around. I opened it and I was talking, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh fuck, it's all over the place." And then I was like, and honestly, that's the first time that's happened on this show.
Period. So now you spilled beer, but you were drunk that last time, remember?
Okay, that's fair.
There was one show that Doug, Aaron, you probably didn't see it. There was one show that Doug did. Like, I'm pretty sure, Doug, you did like 3 barrel aged, and like
that was a night. I had more than enough that evening and 3 beers. That was enough. I don't think that night I had a beer under 11% alcohol. So that was evening.
And then your wife drank some of those ones because
but those things were like, here, man, have a bourbon bomb of a beer, and I was like, it was great.
So this is a Spruce IPA thing. I suspect it's going to have all kinds of like sprucey.
Oh, that's a Spruce one from Fogtown.
Yeah, you ever have this one?
Yeah, I gave it to you, dude. Of course I had that one.
Look, motherfucker. Really? Look, you didn't have this one, but you gave it to me. Get out of here.
I had a sample of that. I bought it for you.
Aaron, I need a new co-host. What are you doing Friday nights? Look, man.
I don't know how you put up
You
with
got
this
to
guy.
book your way more. Come on now. All right. Come on, let's go, Aaron. We can do that. I got to live through the Patriots shit. I don't know if I can do that.
There you go.
Hey, man. At least they don't hammer you over the head with my regional affiliations.
Oh, what? Upstate New York?
So what?
Right.
It's so quiet.
Right.
I do.
Finger Lakes or something. Right. Right. We're currently somehow like trending on Periscope.
Wow.
Whatever. This is great. I'm going to tell you, man.
It's all your fault.
That's okay, but I don't think it's my fault. I think it's more like, hey, man, we got a great guest. We're fucking bullshitting the whole time.
You spill beer.
This is the stuff. That's why we did this show.
By the way, I've now switched to Founders, the all day IPA. This is what I have left in my fridge right now.
Okay, Aaron. So
you're in for a
we have to talk to you about Founders, brother.
Uh-oh. What's your problem?
Because you don't run in circles we do. When you hear why Founders is kind of on the outs for us, you'll understand. Greg's better on explaining it than I am.
Educate me.
Long story short, Founders is they're
Why you just said you're fired, Aaron? Holy shit! She just went
right.
Wow.
Well,
that's the quickest turn. Wow.
Oh,
right, man. You gotta explain. So, Founders is an OG. They're an old school brewery. They've been around before anybody really liked craft beer. They're in Michigan. One of their things is they do big stouts. Everybody loved them. The problem is that Founders got into some. There was a black male who worked there who said that he was discriminated against, and he actually came out and said that a bunch of different racist things that Founders did. One of the things is they had a white man printer and a black man printer. So then this guy reports Founders and says, "Look, you guys are being racist. I've had people call me all these words and all this nonsense." So Founders comes back, and then they, so we didn't do it. So he files discrimination against them. And in the court filings and all this, one of the managers says that he didn't even know that the guy was black. Was their defense.
Listen, Eric.
So
I keep saying Eric. Sorry, it's my
at
son.
that point, and this is within about a year, right, Doug? At that point, people just said, threw their hands up with Founders, and just said, the hell with them. So, Aaron, it's great. Listen, disclaimer with Aaron. Aaron's a new craft beer drinker. Part 2. Today was the first day that Aaron's been in our group. So Aaron has not been in our group. We discussed this. We vetted it. People are like, fuck Founders. We're not doing it anymore. So this is why you got the Afro beer chick. You're fired, even though she's going to understand that because she understands that you just heard it. But at the same time, that's why we have the Founders. If you look up Founders and discrimination, you're just going to see a whole lot of shit.
Yeah, that's messed up. All right, no more Founders. I'm done now.
Here's the thing, Aaron. You've already purchased it. So whatever you have in your kid, fucking drink it.
Drink it and love it, actually. Drink it and love it.
Oh,
right.
No way.
She gave you the pass. You said you didn't know. You slide for now. You're on probation.
That sucks.
You're on probation.
That's fair. That's fair.
Right. It is. It's very fair. And again, not all people know. So,
I'm glad you told me because that shit doesn't fly with me. I take stands for far less than that. So
he's exactly right. So
no.
All right. Well,
and to be fair, in the past I loved a lot of Founders beer. There's a lot of Founders beer I really liked.
We love their beer.
I won't buy it. I won't buy it at all. Now, I have some sticky widgets where I'll go, there'll be free samples where I'm not paying for them and I'm not giving them any money. I might try it because I want to see what it tastes like, but I ain't buying shit from them.
Facts.
But whatever you have, but man, whatever you have in your fridge or your cellar or whatever, you already paid for that. Fucking drink it and enjoy it. But from there, that's your choice on how you want to proceed.
Also, Aaron, I know that you're one of those people that gets into these stories. So really, with all due respect, man, Google Founders this weekend and look at it. I want you to see the crazy. It's crazy. Like when you look at this story, it's just like I can't even believe that was their response to all this. So check it out, man. It's a fascinating read, and then you understand why ABC and all of us are so kind of strong about it.
Yeah. Also, she said you're fired for loving porters too. She's wrong there. We love you anyway.
Honestly,
choppy. Sorry.
No worries, man.
So, Aaron, listen. If we don't stop now, we're never going to.
We'll go for an hour and a half more.
Literally,
this is why I was looking forward to all this so much.
And this is why we got to have him back soon. Aaron, will you come on like soon after the book drops?
I will.
A book release or
I would love to do that. Awesome. That'd be great.
All right. Well, as soon as we get off, I'm going to try.
My condition is that Shalonda comes on too. That's my condition that we have. That we have her on. I'm meeting her. We're gonna have it out. I won't be drinking Founders anymore. So
we will book you both, and that because we were trying to get ABC on, and something happened. So we still have to book ABC. So we book you both, man. Our metrics are gonna go, Doug. We're gonna have to.
This is gonna be so much fun. Like seriously, here's the thing: we're all on the same team. We just have slight differences in beer, but we're all on the same team.
Aaron's book drops June 16th. So we're doing that in June.
June.
ABC. We're doing it in June, lady. Got it. Aaron, thanks for everything. I can't say enough about you coming on, having this back and forth.
Yeah, this is
we got a response here.
Oh, she's in. Okay. Man, this is gonna be a fucking great show. I can't wait to listen.
We're ready. So, Aaron, I'm gonna let you go. We'll see you in a couple months.
Yeah, man, it's been great.
Thanks for coming on. And in a few months too, we'll know where Brady's gonna be, so we'll be able to spar back and forth about that.
Angry Aaron or happy Aaron?
We're gonna have our pizza conversation. I don't know if Afro Beer Chick wants to get into the top sheet thing because I got to talk about that shit.
Hey man, let's try to.
You gotta come around,
man. Let's stick to the pizza or the top sheet. If we do both, we're gonna be here for 4 hours.
We can get everything. We can get it all.
You ever have the fucking flannel sheets though? No.
I've had them. Not my jam.
Yeah, but it doesn't even sound like you gave it a chance. You're just like, whatever. Like
I'm a fucking furnace, dude. I can't have
so fucking lame though.
Fucking bed.
Like, why do they give you a top sheet when you buy the whole thing? So you can just throw it away and put it in the fucking closet? You guys are fucking.
You're the sucker buying extra sheets that you don't need. Don't talk to me.
Just extra that come in the fucking package.
No.
Forget. Whatever.
Nope.
Man.
Aaron. We'll see you soon, brother.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
So, ABC wants to fire. What?
Oh my God!
No.
After Beer Chick just fired for flannels and porters.
And you know what? The thing about flannel sheets, Doug, too, is that we can't just add a little bourbon to them.
Fair point.
Like you can add a little bourbon to a porter to make it good. You can't add a little bourbon to the flannel sheet. I mean, you can't.
You can. That'd be really fucking weird.
Anyway, so we're gonna wrap this up.
I need the bottle, Joe.
Perpetual IPA was a little stale. You called it. It was really malty. I've had this before. It's a good IPA. Today was a. Point number 2 was this crazy. What the kind of all over the place.
Yeah, that was a little weird, man.
If they tweak the recipe though, this could be a really good beer though, Doug. Like And I think it's kind of like a one-off. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, let's just fuck around with this one and see what we get. It's all right. But if I think they actually put, I don't know. Again, maybe I'm wrong, and I don't want to be disrespectful to the people who made this recipe. But I think if they tweaked it a little bit, I think this thing would really be good, especially at the time that you want it. You know what I mean? Maybe like early springish. Could be a good thing, man. It really could be. I'm still sipping on this spruce thing. Aaron got us all crazy. I don't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really.
First thing I've had since last summer. So it's been around a while, but it's a spruce beer. I didn't think it would kind of have an issue, but
no, we've talked about this before. You pretty much know I'm not really that big piney IPA guy.
Which I find interesting considering you like gin.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? This is a big pine. It's a good beer, man, and it's a good beer. But if we're looking for this, was really tasty, man. This Falcon Punch, man, you gave this to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we were drinking, and Aaron was talking about his book, and Aaron was talking. We were all talking about.
That was Super Smith. You drank the whole thing.
So I'm like, this one, man, like this one, I felt like you gave this to me. You know what I like. Like this one, it was like
I tasted that and like I was like, oh, this is decent, but I knew you would like it.
Oh, this is right up my speed, man. Right up my speed. So this was number 1. This was number 2. This is number 3. And this is number 4. What you got, man?
See, I didn't have 4. I only had 3.
Wow.
So I'm gonna start from lowest to highest, and I'm gonna caveat this as none of them were bad. None of them were mediocre for me. All of them were good to really good. One was great. So good. The Oso Black Scotch Ale. For me, it was just the idea that you promoted it as being a Scotch Ale with a hint of peat. Not peat. It was smokiness. It was a good. I drink the shit out of this. They
got the wrong dude on that peat thing, though.
Yeah, for me, and again, it's because I'm a Scotch guy.
Yep.
Not enough peat, but they made it sound like peat. It's not. It was smokiness. Really good. I drink a lot of it. I like it, but it was the advertisement part that threw me off.
Marketing.
So the Plank 4, which was aged in 4 barrels, the Belgian Quad, which I liked, but one, it exploded all over the place when I was
after you spilled it.
And
it exploded after you spilled it. Right. Go on.
So what's interesting is I got so it's about aged in 4 different barrels, but it's a quad. It was sweet like a quad. No different notes. It was just oak all over the place. There was no different notes from the other barrels.
Okay.
It was for $5. This was fucking good. Really fucking good. But it was $5.
And the entertainment value was off the charts.
Yes, that was a great brewery. Anybody in Baltimore or near there, go to Heavy Seas. This was a really good brewery. Again, we talked about that.
Shelf turd.
My brother-in-law was like, that's a shelf turd because it's from 2016. Maybe so. For $5, this was fucking well worth $5. The winner is the Giant Jones because I've never had anything like this. And that's a hard thing to say for me with beer. I'm a beer hound, and this is fucking unlike anything I've had. I really enjoyed it. It tasted almost like a copper ale that finished really clean. No aftertaste, just, I don't know, whatever the fuck they're doing, this is it. This is fucking great. Giant Jones, kudos.
I love my Giant Jones. It's good to hear. That was one I had over there. I stashed it for you. That beer's kind of old, Doug. It's been around.
It was delicious.
Yeah, but it's one that could age good because it doesn't. I don't think it has a big hop profile, and just by it, you know what I mean. Like it can age well, and I don't know. It's been a while. Like it was the last time I was at Giant Jones. I got that, and I can't remember the last time I was at Giant Jones actually. So, man, it's great that it aged well. I love the ladies. I love what they're doing. They're one of my favorite breweries. The first time I walked in there, I was like, damn, this is one of my favorite breweries. And it was the first time I walked in there. So yeah, man. Excellent show. We are 1 hour and 45 fucking minutes into
It doesn't feel like it, dude. We had a great guest. We had great beers. Awesome.
This is probably
commentary.
The longest show ever.
All y'all, thank you for being part of this. This is great.
Look at that. We still got 5 people. Doug, we're actually getting like internet famous or something.
We're Sam.
Next week is, I don't even know. But we have somebody. Doug?
We have somebody. I know we have it on the
Right.
I can't remember. And whoever it is, I apologize because
No, I'm not even gonna. We're not gonna apologize. We're going to have this. Let me pull it up here so that I can say we have. Oh, excellent, man! We have Mari Zoran from Carbon 4.
No way.
She's the Carbon 4 czar. If you're in Daddy Porter's beer group, which, boom. If you're in Daddy Porter's beer group, you know who Mari Zoran is. She is what I call the Carbon 4 queen. She is one of their brand ambassadors. She's on their social media. Carbon 4 is an amazing brewery. I have
1 or 2 beers from them, I think, in my fridge downstairs. So yeah.
You have something from them. Okay, cool. I think you have some Carbon 4. You better. Because I think you have maybe the porter, actually. Anywho, Mari's amazing, fun.
I'm having tonight next week when she's on. So
it's gonna be great. Beer, women in beer too. I mean,
man.
So anyway, Doug,
more of that shit. So yeah.
Yes, more of that. And Mari is a person of color too. So this is gonna be fun, great, and we will leave you guys here. Thank you for joining us. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Aaron, again for gracing his presence. We didn't get to see MJ. I was hoping MJ would come on. Him and MJ have a really good story about them renewing their vows in Ireland. We didn't get there. I don't know if you saw that, though. Did you see that, Doug?
I did, but here's the thing. We had a million things to talk to him about.
Oh, for sure. But that shit.
And he's going to come on again, and we're going to have Afrobuchick on at the same time.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
And
I just want to say, though, man, like, that whole shit with him and his wife renewing their vows. Like, Aaron literally, I don't know if you guys, you can go back on his Twitter. Like, he literally had the camera on his wife, or he had the camera on his wife when they walked up and he had already, like, arranged this whole vow renewal thing. And he walked up and you could see, like, he had the picture on his wife, he had the camera on his wife, and you see her reaction to him wanting to renew the vows. Like, just blew me away. I'm not even, like, one of those sentimental, romantic guys, but oh my God, I just started tearing up. It was just like, damn, like, that's, anyway, I'm almost doing it now. So anyway, I'm going to go. Cheers. We'll see you next week. Dog, man, we only got to go 13 more minutes and we made it 2 hours. Yeah. Holy shit. We should have Aaron on every week. All right, man.
Cheers, folks.
We'll see you guys next week with Mari. Looking forward to it. Cheers.
Cheers, folks.
Oh, I got to end this, Bronx.